Everything
Wow,
wrong
my
with
videos are
Yu-Gi-Oh!
finally taking
Season
off.
2.
Maybe I could justify quitting my full-time job that I hate. Let's see how much money I've made.
$3.
Oh.
3 cents. God damn.
Well,
Mads.
at least my videos are popular enough.
Goddamn
Maybe one
copyright
day.
claims me to say. Don't.
It's finally here, and I'm back to navigate this fucking train wreck, making you sit through a 20-plus minute episode of me rambling about a decade-old anime.
Yep.
Let's start this shit off with setting some ground rules. Now that they've
basic
introduced the
complainers.
sacrifice rule, people can no longer throw down their big-ass boss monster and then gloat to the main characters going, "You'll never defeat me!" And then they somehow defeat them 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Joey also got a deck upgrade, but that's not really saying much considering his last one. Does Yugi really not remember what Bandit Keith sounds like? He literally just saw him a week ago.
Well, there is a dark.
Your fate? Yugi, did you
There's a
not
bit
hear
of
the
a darker
demonic
voice.
voice when he said your fate?
Yeah,
Seems
you know.
kind of suspicious. I wouldn't be open to handing him my Millennium Puzzle if I were you. You just had an internal monologue
Yugi's not
about
that
how
smart.
tons of people are after the puzzle, and then after he
I even put a
asks
chain
you
on it
once,
instead of
you
a
just
rope.
hand it over? Hold on a second. In
That
this
doesn't
scene,
work.
it shows that the warehouse is fully lit. But now that it's completely dark and there's a spotlight, where did that light come from? How did he
Oops.
make it so dark suddenly? How did he
Turn off
get
the
this
lights.
dueling arena
And then turn it
into
back
this
on.
abandoned warehouse, let alone get the electricity to power it? Keith says he has to beat Yugi in a
magic.
duel to take the Millennium Puzzle, as it is a rule set in stone by the
rule?
magic Millennium items. Yet Bakura in the first season just took Pegasus's Millennium Eye, even though Yugi beat him. It is so infuriating that Yugi is such a fucking whipped bitch that anyone with a stern tone of voice can just convince him to do literally anything.
Well,
But I've never fought a duel without you!
Yugi even acknowledges that the fact that Yami is the reason why he wins all these duels.
There's only one player I know whose deck is filled with machine cards!
couldn't
Is it
possibly
really
be
the
anyone
only
else.
person in your mind that could possibly have machine monsters? It's not
Evidently,
like they're
yes.
an archetype that anyone can use.
Archetypes didn't exist yet.
Only Bandit Keith would ever
Or
use
typing,
machine
though.
monsters. Hey, Makiyu's back, doing more shit it doesn't actually do. Like rusting
Rusting.
machine-type monsters.
Forgot about
Even when
those.
being mind-controlled,
The
you
last
can't
one with
stop
the
Bandit Keith from
old-fashioned, you
cheating.
know.
Got to destroy it! If I can't have this puzzle, no one can!
How did Merrick think that smashing the Millennium Puzzle would stop anyone else from having it?
Better
Yugi
question,
could just
why didn't you
reassemble
start with
it,
that?
even though it may take a long time. When did Bakura get all this time to place these signs this far away from the warehouse?
I like how there's a down
putting
pointing
together
one.
the Millennium Puzzle!
What does Yugi exactly expect to accomplish from rebuilding the puzzle? It's not going to make the building not on fire.
Well, last
Why not
time, the
stick
Pharaoh
pipe
just created
in
a
the
ring
hole
of
and pull
fire out of
out
nowhere.
instead of beating on it like you fucking ape.
Hide in the hole
Because
and
one
look
of
for
them's
Poe!
Joey.
Jesus Christ, took you long enough.
See, knock it off, guys, or I won't share my hospital food with you.
Why would you want to share hospital food? That's just
Because
garbage.
shonen
So
protagonist.
theoretically, if they were playing on a more inclined plane, would you be able to see the slabs of what they were using?
That sorcerer's
maybe.
a big-mouth losing chump. You can't compare him to me.
What are you talking about, Kaiba? You are a loudmouthed losing chump. He even sounds like you.
He had me bury them in secret locations, but the cards were discovered.
Why not just rip them instead of going through this whole hassle? Aw, shit. Did I miss a filler episode?
Some kind of dueling
That's
dance
okay,
game?
did we-
My god, Yami, not everything is about dueling. The animation studio should really stick to monster fighting and not dancing. Also not copyright striking my videos.
Yeah.
Never really understood how those two fused together made Musician King. Heavy Metal
Yu-Gi-Oh's
King isn't a
weird.
monster despite how cool he really is.
Yeah, I wish this was a
Metamorphosis
card.
doesn't make you keep gaining attack points each turn. I'm genuinely surprised
Yeah,
that
Yugi
Kaiba would
exploits
make a
that, though.
rule that actively hurts his deck. So now he can't just summon Blue Eyes White Dragon for free.
That is
you can't
surprising, though.
tribute summon monsters in face-up defense position. You can only do it in attack and face-down defense.
Like I
It's
run
basically
Boar
just a
Soldier,
normal
that
summon.
piece of
Destroy one dragon instantly when it switches from defense to attack mode.
Dragon Seeker's effect is only when it's normal summon or flipped face up, not when it changes battle position.
But in the end,
Close
even
enough. At least it
Yugi
was
couldn't
better than
defeat the
the
Blue
spell.
Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
The only reason you beat him
It's
is
because
because
you
you threatened
threatened
to kill yourself. Do you
suicide.
not remember this? The only reason Kaiba hasn't lost yet is because the computer is too afraid to attack into his face-down bluff card. Obelisk's real effect is if you tribute to monsters, you can destroy all the monsters on your opponent's
we're gonna
field.
bring
I'm
this
just
up.
going to state this now, that all the god monsters have different effects in the show than in real life.
Yep.
I get they did this for the sake of giving them a larger-than-life status, so I kind of want to let them slide, but in the end, I'm going to be fair and criticize them for it.
Fair
The ones
game.
were too advanced for me. They cost me the duel.
The old duel disc is the reason you lost?
Yeah,
I remember
it was all because of the
fact
frisbee.
that you kept throwing weak monsters at Kaiba's huge-ass monsters and getting yourself fucking killed.
Figures once you get to the 1800 attack point, beat sticks, Rabbit Horseman shows up.
Never run down dark alleys. 4Kids at it again, censoring Joey being beaten up. How does Tristan have a motorcycle? Isn't he supposed to be a first year in high school? 4Kids actually cut out the entire scene where Tristan finds Joey sulking on the beach, and they have a heart-to-heart. Because Tristan punches him in the face later on to snap him out of it.
Because, you know, they never cut past the punching in at all.
You ruined so many kids' cards, myself included.
Must have hacked into the system and added himself. That's illegal! He calls himself a rare hunter.
If you're trying to sneak into a
Two
game
graceful
tournament,
cherries
why
and a
would you
stone
put your
statue of
name down
Aztecs.
as the evil organization you're part of? Hey
He's
guys,
not smart.
I am Deadly Assassin. Yeah, Mokuba, it's just as I planned. I definitely didn't just get outsmarted and try to make myself not look like a retard.
And with the help of some invisible ink and my X-ray contact lens...
Man, those X-ray contact lenses would be really useful when trying to pull an ash blossom. He played a trap card, he drew that turn. Light Force actually takes 4 turns, not 3.
Yeah, they changed it to be a trap card to make it more accurate to the card, but
optimal deck building and ratios. What the fuck are those?
The problem with that
moves?
is also the fact that
Joey clearly
Exodia
showed
is
that he
only
knew
one
how
per
to
copy.
tribute for larger monsters when he fought the rare hunters in the alley, but yet he forgets the next day and then acts like he never heard this rule before. Why does Joey just end his turn when he realizes he can't summon Gilfried? Couldn't he just do something else? Jesus Christ, Mokuba was such a terrible tournament organizer that everyone is cheating, and the only one catching on to this is Yugi.
Yeah.
Don't cheat me!
Don't cheat me? You've been cheating this whole time. What are you on about? But Skull Dice only drops it by 100 points for each number it lands on. So if it landed on 5, it only drops it by 500 points.
Yeah,
the Cyberator is still stronger than the Swordsman of Landstar. Mind Control is a spell card, and it only lasts 1 turn. Amplifier only allows the owner of Jinzo to now use traps. It doesn't increase his attack points each turn.
This gets changed
Is no
in
one
Duel
going to
Links.
call Joey out for summoning 2 monsters in 1 turn?
Nope.
My monster
use
is
it as a
made
spell
of a
card.
special
Fuck you.
dye titanium metal.
It's made of what?
Made up metal.
Guess who? That's just asking for you to get arrested.
The sad
That
thing is,
spider's
due to the
effect
fact that Grandpa's a
actually based
creeper
on
in the
rolling a
original
6-sided
manga,
dice.
that's even
You didn't
worse.
disappoint us.
How is the earpiece so loud that even Joey can hear it?
Wow,
I
frickin'
summon
Esperoga
Obelisk
must be
the
dead.
Tormentor. Attack now!
Kaiba didn't tribute anything to summon Obelisk, and he attacks the first turn of the duel. Oh, look,
Fuck
it's
you.
Shaco. Good old 4Kids, gotta censor the sharp objects. Kids can't see saws. Think of the children. Wait, what the fuck? That's the winged dragon of
Yeah,
his hand.
I love
and
this
now
edit.
Obelisk is in his
Mistake.
hand too? What?
He has
Trading
all
cards is
3
an
god
actual
cards,
serious
at least 2
issue
of
in
them.
real life. So to stop this, Konami has a rule now where people have to wear sleeves if they are to compete in an event. Dark Renewal requires you to control a spellcaster
They can't have a
monster,
certain
but Mystic
background even though
Tomato
they
is a
push those
plant
certain
type.
backgrounds.
Mystical Guillotine is actually a trap card called Tragedy.
Oops.
Monster Reborn isn't a quick play, so how did both of them activate Monster Reborn at the same time?
Because it looked
People are
cool.
still going to complain the anime was before the cards, but that's not going to stop me from pointing out cards that aren't real, like Beacon of the Dark and Nightmare Chains.
I wonder if that will
Guess we haven't had
change.
any plot armor in the last few episodes, so we got to meet our quota now. I really don't know how to talk about fake cards without it coming off redundant.
I like how
but
we didn't mention the
anti-match
summon skull
arrows aren't
boosting
real
off of the
and neither
Magnet
is
Warrior's
Shadow
attack
Balance.
points.
Its magic summoning power is available to both sides of the dueling field.
That's not how Dark Magical Curtain works.
Oh, they do this
That
again
kid's
later
hair
with
looks like
Melody
a
of Awakening
mustache.
Dragon.
Why does the Swordman of Landstar make that sound?
Why does he growl
Parasite
and
isn't
yet
real.
Red Eyes doesn't? Oh boy. Arca Sword Dudes?
Parasite is actually censored in America. This is what it looks like in Japan, where the bug is actually growing out of somebody's face, similar to how it is with the monsters in the game.
I like the TCG version better than Big Mini Nightmares.
Why can't he sacrifice infected monsters?
Because-
Parasite only makes it so the monsters are insect types.
It was the original
Man,
Zombie
Konami
World.
made the most random cards back in the day.
Yep, that's an actual card that
Even
exists.
stronger than the Great Moth.
Everyone
You
keeps
sound like a
saying that
girl.
it's
And
stronger than the
Max
Great
from
Moth, yet it's
Pokemon.
still weaker with the added attack. Joey would still take
Oops.
the damage even if his spell
It
steals
potentially
the
gets
opponent's
stronger than the Great
monster.
Moth.
Soldier Ant isn't real. See, you could always
It's a
tell when a
vanilla.
card has either been edited in the show or it's completely made up for it because they have a different art style than other cards.
This card takes 1 soldier ant and turns it into an army of 10 ants.
10 monsters? You can only have 5.
Here, activate the Steel Boy Couch.
No way is he getting his hands on your power! I
That
just
wouldn't
did.
work.
Shut the fuck up, Yugi.
I'm
When you
badass.
fuse 2 monsters together, you must wait 1 turn before you can attack.
No, you don't have to wait a turn for
Battle
fusion monsters to
signals.
attack. Revival Jam requires you to pay 1,000 life points each time you want to revive it, so theoretically, if they did use this rule, this card would be pretty shit considering they only use
Still, we
4,000
wouldn't get as
life
badass
points.
of how
The
Yugi
rules state
beats
you need to
Slifer.
sacrifice 3 slime tokens to summon your 1 Egyptian god card.
Specifically,
How does
slime
Yami
tokens.
know that Merrick needs 3 tributes to summon an Egyptian god card? It's not like it's
Kaiba.
ever been mentioned in the rules, nor does Yami have any memory, so how would he know that from his past life?
Once I have all 3, I'll have the most
Maybe Kaiba
powerful
told him
deck
so
in
he
Duel
was an
Monster.
obelisk.
While in theory, having 3 Egyptian god cards in your deck does sound really nice, how would you be able to summon them if all of them require 3 tributes? Not to mention the fact that your deck is also based around 3 giant monsters that need 2 tributes each. That's
Kaiba's
11
not
tributes in total, so theoretically if you had a hand
Oh,
of
this is the
3 god
anime.
cards,
What
Blue Eyes,
consistency.
and just any random spell, how would you do anything? You could just get fucking killed because you have 4 dead cards in your hand. Oh man, I really didn't know what Pot Agree did. Thank you for telling
Here
me
we go
for the
again.
1,000th time. Magic Cylinder doesn't need to be combined with a Magician card for it to work.
You've activated my dragon's special ability.
Time for the Egyptian God cards to have 13 special abilities added each episode. Magic Cylinder
fair,
makes
this
you
is one of
take the
Slifer's
damage of your
effects.
monster's attack, so Revival Gem wouldn't work in this situation. Ever notice how their decks never get any thinner no matter how many turns pass and they draw so many cards? Of course, the one time I mentioned it, they actually changed
Yeah,
it.
I kind of had to because it's important.
Kaiba,
Yeah,
you're
for
scaring
the
poor
episode.
little Karibo. Parasite,
Think about what you're
Parasites
doing.
should have been flipped face up when attacked, so the effect should have still gone off.
Actually,
Joey
no.
did something
Well,
right
actually, the
for once,
effect
even
does
if he had no
activate,
idea
just
he
doesn't
did.
do anything because it dies
People,
before it can go to the
myself
deck.
included, ridicule Merrick for being a shitty and dumb villain, but when you think about it, Bakura's spirit is even worse than him.
Yep.
I have
He
used nothing but a
loses to
small
Merrick.
wooden fishing boat.
That seems really inefficient
Also,
to
I love
use,
how Flying
Mako.
Fish is a
Alligator
wing-type
Swordsman
level
text is
4
even written as
800
if
attack
Joey
monster.
wrote it
What?
himself.
I love
Hey,
that
this
fact,
mighty
though.
lizard man can swing his sword so fast that it's more than the speed of sound.
I love that.
Joey has polymerization in his deck!
Here we go again with this underwater shit.
Call off the storm and release your tornadoes. I can take it.
Joey, you
I
realize
remember
that
when
the
Tornado
water is
Wall
a
was
hologram.
OP.
If he releases the tornadoes, nothing is going to happen to
Yeah,
you.
seriously.
Energy Drain is a trap card.
With Vexo with Percusaur dudes. The heck?
Legendary Fisherman Spear is actually censored in America.
Hmm.
Mako's dad actually died, but 4 kids decided to change it because real-life topics can't exist in anime. No, sir.
They changed the
Mm-mm.
spear to a
The
little
warrior
ball
needs a
thingy.
sacrifice in order to
Surprised by
attack.
that.
Why would you play a card that requires a tribute to attack? That's so fucking awful.
Because 2,000
Joey,
attack
you
points was
realize
busted
you
back
can't
then on
activate
a
equip
vanilla
spells in the
on a
middle of
normal
battle.
summable
You
monster.
just killed your Panther Warrior and yourself. Hey, you gotta discard a card to use Return of the Doomed. Holy shit, for once they used a good card in the anime. And now a word from
What about
our
Monster
sponsor.
Reborn? Oh dear God. We've already done Arcana. What the? I am very concerned. That's not how you put in things. Too many numbers. It's not physically
What the
possible.
fuck was that? Who put that in my video? How are those little tiny puzzle pieces supposed to form a map? So what happens in the
shut
event
up.
if you beat 6 people that all have the same locator card as you? You just not get the directions to where the finals are?
That would
You
have been
think
a
after the
funny
third time
anticlimax.
Mokuba
Be
was
like,
kidnapped,
Joey
you
Scott all
just
the way
have
to
him
the finals.
handcuffed to your right
fuck, we're all
arm
the
at
same
all
piece.
times.
Displayed in the magic shadow box.
Magic Shadow Box? Really? You mean the
Timer.
bomb that will break the glass, causing you to fall to your death?
No,
Who the fuck
Magic
do you think
Shadow
you're kidding,
Box.
poor kids? Masked Doll isn't real.
Work as a team as well as you can, rare hunters.
No, we can't.
No thanks.
Remember what happened the last time you didn't work as a team, Kaiba?
Yeah.
Sacrifice!
Nope.
I'm Magnet Warrior!
Not so fast, Yugi.
Unless it's a card like Solemn Warning, you can't interrupt a normal summon. The tribute should have gone through. He couldn't activate Mask of Restrict.
You couldn't possibly make things any worse than you already have, Yugi.
Speak for
Kaiba keeps
yourself.
going on about how it's Yugi's fault that they can't tribute summon, but the fact that as soon as he tried to summon his god card, they would have activated the Mask of Restrict.
Yeah, the
Yugi
same thing
going
would
first
have
doesn't
happened
change the fact that they
regardless.
still had Mask of Restrict set to begin with.
It's all up to Mokuba now.
Great
We're
idea.
fucked.
Just leave it in the hands of the most useless character in the show next to Bakura.
Yeah.
Magnet Warriors on the field at the same time. I can activate their special ability.
Wait, the Magna Warriors have no special abilities. They're vanilla monsters.
Magic card soul exchange,
Oh, they
which
gotta
lets me
consider
sacrifice your 3 magnet warriors.
We're not gonna bring
Tribute
up
one
the
of their monsters
diffusion
with soul
too.
exchange, so your plan doesn't really work, Kaiba. Sorry. Oh, sick, a recap episode. I guess I could skip this one, save some time. Is it weird that that animation of Joey taking Merrick's cards looks super weird?
Now, Mr. Kaiba.
It was so robotic and
I
like,
think I see someone on the
like a
pier.
slideshow
And
almost.
it kinda looks like Joey.
How the
Stop
fuck
motion
did you
isn't
see
big
that all the way down there?
Mokuba's useless, but he's got really good
I guess we're
eyesight.
using good cards now. Are you fucking
Right,
kidding me? You're
Geki.
expecting me to believe that Dice beat them that easily?
Hey,
I
did you
guess I
see
must
the
have been a
original
really
thing about how
stupid kid back
Kaiba
in
stopped
day,
one
'cause
of the
it took me
guards?
forever to realize that was a smiley face.
Trading card
This episode is
face.
so unrealistic. You expect
mean,
me to
hand.
believe that Joey has the mental capacity to fight off brainwash from Egyptian dark magic?
His
Attrition
willpower
isn't a
is
real card.
surprising.
Why did Red Eyes look like
Also,
it
it
was
looks like Red Eyes
melting in that
fusion.
shot? Did I miss
'Cause it looks
something that
cool.
Yugi's now on the verge of collapsing, beaten?
He could have attacked us. Instead, he left himself wide open for us to attack him.
See what I'm saying when I call Merrick a dumb villain? He doesn't think that this is what Yugi wants him to do. Instead, he goes, ha ha, he didn't attack. I guess he doesn't have it in him. Completely ignoring the fact that Yugi set 2 cards face down.
Into its invincible mode.
Rocket Warrior has no such thing as an invincible
It
mode.
doesn't
I
affect
bet
that
Kim
some-
Jong-un would love to know about this invincible rocket mode.
Oh,
Wait, we
God.
see all the ice go into the cup. How is it as soon as it changes shots?
No,
it's
no,
now
some
all over
fell
the table?
out.
Tristan is a fool if he thinks anyone other than a main character would have 6 locator cards. Doesn't he understand how anime works?
Yeah, seriously,
it feels
dude,
like a
what
lot
the
of
fuck?
These recent episodes have been padded with a lot of flashbacks. I feel like I'm watching Naruto again.
Oh,
I really don't get why they didn't just use the original card art for Meteor Destruction instead of using whatever the fuck this is.
I
Work just doesn't
don't
make
know.
sense sometimes.
Hunter, say hello to my Blue Eyes White Dragon card.
Why would you throw your most prized possession where there only is 3 in the world?
Because in the original, he
across
didn't
a
know what
pier?
card it
Time.
was yet.
Ref panel,
until he
direct
drew
your
it.
attack toward me.
You can't tell a trap to redirect effect on yourself.
I
That would be
just
stupid.
did.
I set myself face down and end my turn.
God. More fact zones.
In the dub, the dynamite that's connected to the timer atop the anchor is actually removed. Why are you just standing there, you moron? Unlock yourself and go save Yugi!
He's
Why
not
is
smart.
Yugi hurt? This is still only a hologram-based duel.
Meteor of Destruction has another effect.
Meteor of Destruction doesn't have a second effect. Also, the duel is already over. Yugi's life points have hit 0 long before this.
Ice Black Dragon attack. Wipe out my life point.
How did Joey get Yugi's monster to attack him? I'm sorry, but what part of Battle Phase is this? Joey getting in some practice
What's
for
a
his
battle
role
phase?
as Caesar in the next Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh, God.
You had 30 seconds to unlock yourself. Why are you still attached to this damn thing? Mai actually slapped Joey across the face. Notice how the show fast cuts as soon as she starts walking up to him, and then it immediately cuts to Joey holding his face as if he was hurt, not to mention a slap mark. Okay, that's actually a really cool way to show a map. Man, you
Yeah.
could really tell the
Wish they
cards are
were in real
edited
life.
in this episode because of the red mist. In all fairness, it must have been actually pretty hard to layer the cards below the red mist.
Yeah.
Shallow Grave makes both players special a monster face down from their graveyard. How does
It
a
doesn't work if
dragon
the
and
other one
Medusa
doesn't.
make a mammoth skeleton?
This is just
This is
yelling
so
at Yu-Gi-Oh,
terrifying.
not the
It
show.
will send
The
shivers
actual
down
card
your
game.
spine.
Shivers down my spine. Oh no, not a skeleton of an extinct animal. Anything but
While also looking
Invitation cards
fabulous.
will severely damage your life point.
Severe damage.
I
It
do
only
like this
deals
duel,
300 for each card. Spiritualistic
horror.
medium, while a cool name, isn't a real card.
Sadly,
So
but
is
it
this
would be
idiot
kinda
just
powerful
carrying
given
this
all
ring
the
around the
fireworks
whole
it does.
time?
And all the
Girl now,
discarding.
Jimmy.
Imagine
No,
Danger
his
Dark
name is
World with that shit.
Joey. How did a hologram pick her up? The solid vision wasn't invented until Arc
Because it's an
V.
actual
See,
guy.
Yugi and Bakura both have these
That's
real
my
old
explanation, at least.
objects that have magic powers.
What?
Yugi's item is good, but Bakura's item is bad.
Listening to Joey explain the Millennium items is the most entertaining thing about this show so far.
I thought you lost will simply be added to mine.
Wait a minute. Dark Sanctuary doesn't add life points.
Yeah, to
Good
make
old
it somewhat
Destiny
more fair.
board. Can't spell death. The kids can't see a word. Better make it just
Better
say
make
final.
Disney. Oh
In
wait,
order to
doesn't
keep
work
my
either.
Dark Sanctuary card in play, I need to
DISNY.
sacrifice a monster
There
each
we go.
turn.
You don't have to sacrifice to keep Dark Sanctuary alive.
It's a shame that
You
card
can't
never
just
became
take control
meta.
of one of Yugi's monsters without him knowing. Does he not see the flying ghost going into them?
I just assumed it was only visible to
Zangan's
Bakura because
special
it's his
effect
card.
allows me to draw one more card after it's been sent to the graveyard.
Sangan doesn't let you draw a card when it's destroyed. It lets you search a monster. Come on, you've already had it
Close
in the
enough.
fucking show during the Rebecca fight. I get it,
Oops.
it's filler, but still, like, come on.
Yeah, the Rebecca fight.
So, Exile of the Wicked, wipe out my Karibo and his
his dark ghost.
What happened to respecting all your monsters and not tossing them aside?
Not to mention, thank goodness you happen to be running Exile of the Wicked.
Because you have to win. So if the spirit possessing Yugi's monsters is the Dark Sanctuary's effect, him destroying the Kariba with the spirit in it wouldn't stop it because Dark Sanctuary is still on the field. Cyberjar is drawn as a spell here.
Attempting to recreate the images of the Egyptian god monsters, you've unleashed a dangerous force far beyond your comprehension.
I'm not actually going to do
drawing the
anything
god cards
about
makes them real. If I just sketched them out on paper, would I get divine power?
Yeah! Show Tattoo Face what dueling's all about, Joey!
Yeah, Joey, you shuffle that deck real hard. You show.
At least they actually show shuffling.
God,
they don't show that very often
hate
nowadays.
The existence of Taya so much you don't understand. She's so annoying, and she exists to explain things to retards that watch this show or to recap episodes because this is a fucking weekly cartoon. Like, if she didn't talk in most of these scenes, there wouldn't be missing anything. She could still be a character, but she's just an info dump, and it's so frustrating because I'm watching them in succession and I know what's happening. You don't have to fucking remind me, and you don't have to explain
Zexo said,
"Let's
do that
each
again."
Time, literally anybody does anything. It's also super fucking infuriating that every 2 minutes something happens. Taya turns to Yugi and goes, "Oh, Yugi!" I'm like, bitch, he's not even in this fucking episode. I'm not gonna fucking forget his name is Yugi. Oh my god, he's the main character. Thank you for fucking reminding me the 10th fucking time this episode. God damn it. Why is the art on Judgment of Anubis so ugly? Judgment of Anubis is full monster attack points, but they had to change it because if not, Joey would have lost the duel right there. We're now getting to the part where a lot of the Egyptian-based trap and spell and monster cards aren't real, mainly only used by Odion and Merrick himself. Everything else, for the most part, from now on, is actually real, it just uses the wrong effect. This is our first introduction to trap-based monsters, which would then lead on to one of my most favorite decks, Paleozoics. Foolish Burial sends a monster from your deck to the grave, not from your hand to the opponent's grave.
No, I love this because I played that anime where the deck is like, okay, I get to send this card from my deck to your grave.
Still wrong like last season, the Grave Robber is a trap, and
don't blame me, blame the anime.
Graveyard, not a monster. So this whole play would actually be pointless. The Cup of Sealed Souls
and the
Seal of Circuit aren't real.
Hunters reproduce counterfeit cards. These forgeries are exact duplicates of the original Winged Dragon of Ra, and equally as powerful.
So if you can make exact copy counterfeits of the
God
there's
cards
a backlash
because like God doesn't like that.
Of the other two,
thou shalt not worship false gods.
Rule the world, and then after you do that, get the real ones.
Oh man, a polymerization card? That's no help now.
Oh look, for once the anime acknowledges that Joey's deck is a bunch of shit thrown together.
He
that
keeps
doesn't mesh
bricking,
well.
that's how he
loses.
loses.
One combo to win every time.
He doesn't lose
Last
the duel,
season
but you
being
know.
Baby Dragon and Time Wizard, and this season being Jinzo and the Dice.
Losing.
Or at least Red Eyes before he got Jinzo.
Yeah.
Circuit only gains 500 attack each time.
How will this change me? Mother, does this mean I'll be exactly like you and Father?
Oh god, where did they get Odion's child
sounds
voice?
Like
it sounds like he's 100 feet away
something.
from the mic and they're using the high school 2 PS2 game microphone. Jeez.
I forgot about
Wait,
that.
Odion! Stop your attacks!
Hey!
You can't stop a monster's attack midway through. That's bullshit.
I just did.
Play the Winged Dragon
I do like Mystical Beast of Circuit.
Merrick,
design,
Odion
though.
literally has the duel won already. You're making him play Ra, loses you the game.
I know there were difficulties at first with some of my weaker servants.
Wait, so you actually didn't make successful copies? Then why did you say it did in the first place? Good job, Merrick. You fucked yourself over in the end, revealing your identity and got the only person who ever loved you killed. Good job, dude. Okay, who's going out of control with the expand tool in Photoshop over Merrick's face now?
They're having a lot of fun, though.
Thanks to Odion's failure.
Odion's failure? How could you put the blame on anyone but yourself for him losing the duel, making him play Ra? I guess we ran a budget for the episode. Good job, Joey. Literally every chance you get, you ruin your relationship with Mai. Well, I guess Merrick now gets a passing grade in the stupid anime villain look department. Oh god, not this shit again. Taya's gotta get her job quota of being the flashback machine for this episode.
Where you go? You need to know!
What happened to assisting duelists during the middle of their duel results in them getting a game loss? He just normal summoned the 4-phase beast. He can't just tribute it to summon the masked beast the same turn.
Yes, he can.
Has to wait one. If you're wondering why after he activated the Pot of Greed, they show the life point gauge of Merrick's duel disc, it's because it's supposed to say draw, but it was changed by 4 kids for an unknown reason.
Yeah, why?
see
it was
how
already
the
in
Millennium Rod
English.
has the pointed end in this shot, but now it has a flat end in this scene in Odion's room? Is because 4Kids edit out the hidden dagger that's sheathed in the tip of the rod, because Merrick is supposed to kill Odion in this scene, but they cut it out because, of course, you can't have murder in a kid show.
Nope.
Taya's been erased from my mind.
They did a
Good,
good
now
job
if
of
only
like
they could
ending
remove
it out,
Taya
though.
from the show completely. Guess he forgot to mention he has to dump the rest of his hand, requiring at least one card. But as you can see in this scene, he has no cards left, so he couldn't actually activate Rope of Life, bringing back Makiura. Why didn't you use the puzzle powers when fighting Bakura or Joey? That seemed like they would be really useful in those
Yugi
situations.
asked him not to be
Grave
fair,
Arm
when it
isn't
comes
real.
to Jan.
When one of my monsters' attack points is decreased.
It's only if the attack becomes 0. Can't let the kids see handcuff and chains. Gotta make them bonds of light.
The
Can't be
winged
handcuffs and
dragon.
chains,
Good
otherwise there might
lord,
be some
Kai was about to
BDSM.
cream his pants waiting to see Robbie summoned.
Yeah.
Reading the ancient text written on the bottom of the card.
Why didn't Odion have to read this quote-unquote ancient text to summon Rod in the last
Because
duel?
he couldn't
Wait,
read
what
it,
the
maybe.
fuck? That wasn't there 2 seconds ago. Why is there this ancient text that no one's mentioned before thrown in so Merrick can still win even though Mai outplayed him and should have won the duel? Guess we
Because
just can't have a B character beat the main villain.
Nope.
Gotta have Yugi do it.
Finally get to see how it works.
Kaiba keeps going on about needing to know what Rod does, but Odion said at the duel before. He just heard
Also,
Merrick
we
say
later
the chant. Why
later
does he need to
learned that
translate it?
Kaiba
How are you
can
supposed to have a
read
duel be
naturally.
suspenseful or entertaining when one of the opponents knows the outcome of everything in this duel?
How
Until
dare you
Kaiba changes
insult my
destiny.
family?
How
I do like
dare
this
you
duel.
call my brother, who has brainwashed thousands of people and killed 6 that we have seen on screen, insane? I never. Holy shit, back in the day, Crush Card Virus was so OP.
Yeah,
in the
seriously.
Japanese version, Virus Cannon is a spell card, but in the American version, they changed it so Virus Cannon is a trap, just like it is in real life. So for once, the American 4Kids version was actually right. I don't really know
Yet
who to
they
blame for this,
still
since the
use the
fact that in the
activation
Japanese
wrong.
original version, Virus Cannon was a spell, so the turn that Kaiba draws it, he plays it, but in the American version, it's a trap,
So it's
that leads
like,
to confusion
yeah,
of how is he
it's
using
like
a trap
they
on his
fixed
first
it,
turn?
but they
Yugi
also
makes you
broke
discard
it.
cards
It's
drawn
weird.
by effects, not ones that you get
Yeah, that's
during
drop
your normal
off.
draw phase. Soul Exchange only lets you use one of the opponent's monsters.
That's
so
nice.
Kaiba's
I'll
whole
take all
plan of
3, thank
stealing
you.
all 3 doesn't
Also,
really
as long
work.
as effect what activates.
Trap card infected Obelisk the Tormentor.
How is your trap already taking effect if you haven't activated it yet? but it's
shut
even
up.
stated in the anime that
It's to
Obelisk
give
is
it
supposed to be
it's supposed to
unaffected
give
by
it
spell and
justification.
traps. So how is Kaiba forced to lose this?
Because it was by attribute, I believe.
He says he won't be controlled, yet he listened to the Millennium Rod, which told him the way to win. So does that not count as being controlled? Merrick actually
Good
kills
question.
his father with the hidden blade at the bottom of the Millennium Rod, as stated before, but of course this scene
Though in
was
the
cut
manga,
in the
he
4Kids
skinned
version.
him
Mobile
alive.
destruction makes you put your hand at the bottom of your deck.
Oh, that's
I mentioned my new monster's
monster.
special ability.
No, bitch, you just summoned the monster. You didn't tell me what it does. I wonder if they did the whole you're losing your body with your life points thing to save budget so they didn't have to draw the
Would
characters.
not surprise
You can't change
me.
Ra's
But that
battle
wouldn't be a
position
bad
the turn you
explanation.
summoned him.
Dragon of Ra seems to possess several special abilities that aren't even written on the card.
This scene
AKA
exists to
bullshit.
foreshadow all the ass pulls that Ra is going to do in episodes to
At
come.
least they foreshadowed.
Even the good Merrick sounds like an asshole.
With no help from anyone, except for myself.
With nobody's help except for myself, except for Yugi and Yami and Shizu and Obelisk. You can't forget the Millennium Rod, considering the
Or
fact he won you the
Blue Eyes.
last duel. If you guys made it this far, I really want to thank you for sitting through 20
And we're not even
minutes
done
of
yet.
rambling
Next
about
thing
a
we gotta go
decade-old
through the
anime.
freaking
Not exactly
virtual
sure how I
world
want to
arc,
format the
everybody.
season 3 episode.
On to
I'm considering
Noah!
maybe splitting it into
See
2
ya.
parts, considering that half of it is
Well,
all
let's
about
end
Kaiba's
first,
brother and
then,
father,
yeah.
and then the rest is actually pursuing Merrick. So
At least the
Merrick
Noah
episodes would
arc
be
has
part
some a
E,
little bit
and
more
then the
character
Kaiba's family
development
part
in
would
it.
be A. But you
That's
guys should leave a
actually
comment
not
below and
bad,
tell me
you
what you
know.
think. Please subscribe for further updates and follow me on Twitch and Twitter. See you guys in season 3.
Doodles.